Hello, everyone out there in the world of the internet. It's us again for playing D&D in this campaign that I've decided to arbitrarily call Devil's Due. I'm Jay Fry, your dungeon master. And then, who else wants to introduce themselves and their character?
I'm Matt. I fight things, usually. I'm pretty good at it sometimes.
I'm Christy. I have a doggo.
And I'm Shane, who's just a really giant lizard with a hammer.
Who sometimes believes in things. And they give you power.
It's a touch-and-go relationship.
Okay. Well, as of last session, we ended you talking with the emissaries of the local merfolk tribe and found out that the recent problems with the merfolks might have been due to one giant asshole just lying his way through things and making the humans seem like jerks. But since one of you can speak the language of the merfolk, you were able to tell that that was actually the problem and not that people were being jerks to them, that this just one guy was a dick for no real reason? It was kind of vague.
There's always a reason.
Yeah.
Find it.
This is true. Though sometimes that reason is just people are terrible.
But that's fine. I already know that.
So, you're 6 hours out of town standing on this bridge. The merfolk have just left. You have a meeting with them again in 4 days, in which you're supposed to bring an emissary from the town and serve as moderators in the debate.
What was her name? We need to go back to talk to her.
Donna? Deborah?
Darla.
Darla. Right, because it reminded me of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Oh.
So, what do?
Morgana's going to start making the trek back to Darla's house with Bronx.
Okay.
It is fairly late, right?
It is middle of the afternoon. It will be after dark before you get there.
But only for a little bit, right? Didn't we figure this out?
Oh, yeah, you did this last time. You got home. Yeah. You got home after dark and were generally fine and then slept. That's right.
Right.
We solved that at the end.
I swear we calculated that already.
Yep. We did. So you have wandered back to town uneventfully and slept.
Okay.
There we go.
So then, wake up, do a heckin' big stretch, and then go find Darla.
Okay. Do you do it by yourself or do you wait for everyone else to wake up?
I'll wait for everybody else to wake up.
Okay.
All right.
Bronx is going to go over and lick their faces.
Well, they're sleeping in the inn and you are not.
Yeah, Bronx can get inside. You don't think that they'd let Bronx in? Can I do a stealth check on my doggo?
Can your dog open doors that are probably locked?
Can he go through doors that are already being opened?
I mean, yes.
Not to our rooms?
Unless you're... Yeah, that's true. Unless you forgot to lock them because you were drinking too much.
I did not, in fact, forget to lock it.
I don't think we drank at all.
No, we didn't. Well, you didn't. I slept outside.
Okay. So everyone else wakes up and you gather together. Out front of the inn, or in the inn's common room, whichever it is, wherever it is Christy decides to wait.
I'm going to stay outside.
Okay.
I like outside. Hey guys, I think we really need to go talk to Darla. Do you want to come?
Yeah, we should definitely talk to her after what we learned yesterday.
Sure.
Sure.
Okay. Walk the 20, or not even that. Walk the 300 feet over to Darla's house and knock on the door. Knock, knock, knock. You hear some rumbling from inside and hear someone grumbling, "Who the hell's at my door this early?"
Darla, it's Morgana and company.
Oh. You see her open the door. She's clearly woke up less than 20 minutes ago.
I'm really sorry.
This
to
couldn't have
bother you
waited.
so early. No, it's really important, I swear. We met with the merfolk yesterday, and we figured out what the problem is.
One of them was an asshole.
Yes.
Okay.
They were making up lies about us, and we need an ambassador to bring back to them in 4 days' time. And we were hoping that you could be that person for
Well,
us.
it would be 3 days' time now.
3 days' time, yeah.
Noon, 3 days from now.
Noon, 3 days from now. That's exactly what I said.
Let me wake up some and think on it.
Darla, you are Lake Town's only hope.
There's like
I mean,
there's like 20 other people
like,
who live off that lake. I mean,
But they hate the merfolk, and you're the most amenable.
we've got like 3 days to figure this out. We don't need to do this like this minute.
I like the way that one thinks.
All right.
I'm gonna go eat breakfast. Have fun with your day. I'll bring it up to the other fishermen when I get out there later. Okay. She groggily closes the door and goes back about her normal day.
Can't you just let hungover people be hungover? Like,
I mean, if you had an objection, you could have easily said it when I asked if you wanted to go, and you said, yeah, sure, let's go.
well, when she opens the door, I figured it was a reasonable time. But when she opens the door and is clearly hungover, you're like,
So then I
let's
should
come
wake her up
back a
for
little bit
absolutely
later.
no reason.
I'm
and then
gonna
turn
start
around.
walking to the inn.
That makes no sense. I've already woken her up. I may as well tell her what I came to tell her. Otherwise, I've woken her up and wasted her time.
Well, yeah, but you wanted to start planning right away, which is why I was
We
like,
should
you know
start
what?
planning right away. They're
We should do
literally
this
almost
later.
at war.
I'm gonna go drink.
Good, you should. It's 10 o'clock in the morning.
No, it's like 7 in the morning.
Even better. Go start drinking. Bronx and I are going to wander around town.
Okay. That takes you all of 10 minutes.
No, we get distracted by stuff, obviously. We're critter hunting.
Around town is not a good place to go critter hunting.
Says you. I bet there's lots of critters around town.
Takes you all of an hour.
That's fine. What are you doing? You're drinking.
Drinking.
Yeah.
Takes you all of an
the
hour.
best thing to be doing.
Yeah, she won't even serve you drinks this early.
Okay, that's fair.
She will serve you breakfast because that comes with your room, but you will not get alcohol with breakfast.
Okay, that's fair.
I can have his
I'm just gonna do push-ups or something. I don't know. Sit around and
throw out and push-ups.
waste time for like until noon or so.
Okay.
You know, I could still teach you Draconic.
I don't want to learn your language. I'm sorry.
Point.
Okay.
Maybe I can give you a choice.
And just start speaking at us.
You could use it as a secret tongue. If he's doing push-ups, I'm just going to proceed to try and give him language lessons, even if he's not reacting back.
Okay.
Do I have like a book or something? I'm gonna read a book.
Okay, you can have a book. That is a reasonable thing for you to have.
If you are reading a book, I will not disturb you.
There we go.
Okay. So you guys sit around until later in the day and then do what?
I mean, I'm content just to wait and for Darla to get back.
Okay. How are you going to measure that?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Approximately the time she got back the day before by the sun, I assume. I don't know how we tell time.
Okay.
I assume we have a way to tell time.
I'm like, are you waiting outside her door for her to come back, or are you just
No.
waiting
Yeah,
till
we're
that
really
evening?
outside the window. We're actually crouched down in the bushes.
No.
I mean, you can do that if you want.
So, Bronx and I are off doing our own thing.
Okay.
Y'all can talk to Darla.
So you just decided to basically hang out in the inn or outside, depending on
Mhm.
which one of you we're talking about, until that evening. Does anyone want to do anything interesting with that time?
I'm gonna go forage for wild herbs and food.
Okay. Roll me a survival check.
19.
Okay. You found some tubers. Mostly potatoes and radishes. And you made sure you weren't actually in someone's garden. You actually wandered off far enough to where you were in the foothills to
I'm
the
gonna
southeast of town.
I'm gonna shoot the shit with the people around the inn, who I assume are just mostly a couple of old people, because everybody else, has lives and doesn't work.
It is Beth and an old guy.
Yeah, there you go.
I wish I had a fishing rod.
Could make one.
I don't think I have.
You could go down to the docks and ask someone if you could borrow one for the day or buy one off of them.
You've never met a fisherman. They're not going to lend out their equipment.
Everyone has a price.
Tell that to the boats they didn't give us last time.
Well, if we gave them enough money.
If we had given them enough gold, they would have given us boats.
You just didn't have enough money to outweigh the risk of the boat.
Same with the cart earlier.
Yes.
I mean, I still say we should have stolen a cart, but we won't get back into that.
Your poor first level adventurers. Which is rich by almost any commoner's standpoint, but,
Yeah, because don't they see like a gold a year at most?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we currently have 44. Well, not you.
Yeah. We got money.
I mean,
Okay.
I also have money, so.
So I guess I'm going to head back to the inn with my haul.
anyone else want to do anything interesting today, or are we just basically killing it?
Just killing it, I guess.
Okay. You wander back in, gather up that evening, and head over to Darla's house again. And she sees you coming this time and just comes to the door herself. She's like, I figured you guys would be back.
Sorry about bothering you so early this morning.
Yeah, now that it's not the ass crack of dawn, I actually had time to think of things.
I mean, 7 o'clock is not the ass crack of dawn, but nice try.
As apology, would you like some potatoes and radishes?
Why do you
Sure.
I
Clumps of dirt also attached to them.
have some tubers? Here you go.
She just looks at him, shrugs, and sets him by the door. But, yeah, come in. And you sit in her sitting room, which has basically a small couch that's more of a bench with light padding on top and 2 wicker chairs. And she sits on one of the chairs.
I'm going to sit on the other chair with the doggo in my lap.
I will stay standing.
I'll stay standing.
Well, that seems really weird. For one person to be sitting and everyone
Well,
else
there's
standing.
2 chairs, right?
And
There's a sofa.
a sofa.
Oh, I'll sit on the sofa. Never mind.
I'm like, is that not rude to have the
Brain
one
focused on the
sitting
2
down
chairs.
and then everyone's towering over her?
When Bronx goes to get up on your lap, she just kind of goes, can you... I'm not sure that'll hold both of you.
Fair. Bronx, you can have the chair.
But when you go to sit on the
Everybody
ground...
else is standing.
Okay.
You left standing at this point.
I'm just standing, and at this point, I'm doing it out of perseverance.
Okay. I think Bronx will settle at your feet.
I'm just imagining this weird musical chairs scenario happening. People standing up and sitting down and standing back up.
Okay, well, so I talked to the other fishermen this morning. And most of them didn't believe the news. Which, yeah,
I'm surprised.
is what it is. So I guess I'll be our representative. I don't know.
That would be great.
I'll probably get George to come along as well, since he's the only citizen in town, but I'm not sure he'll have a lot to say.
Both of you can swim, right?
You do remember
We're
the name
gonna
of
take
this
the
town,
boat.
right?
Hey,
If
just
you
because
gr-
you live by water don't mean you know how to move in it.
If you grew up in Lake Town, you know how to swim. That's. I mean,
Weirder things exist in this world.
I guess.
Like you.
I'm
Not
perfectly
Darla.
normal. The blue one isn't, but that has come to be understood.
Ron slowly growls at Marvin,
Okay.
and I pet him right on the forehead. Good boy.
Okay. So, yeah, that's. You said 3 days from now at noon? We'll have to set out pretty early. Oh well.
The other issue is that we need to arrive by boat, and we were hoping that we would be able to take yours.
Oh, that's fair. If you can talk George into releasing some supplies for me early, I should be able to have it done by then. Are any of you
Yeah, we'll
good
talk
with
to George.
To help?
any of you good
Other
with
than-
any woodworking tools?
I can chop a tree down.
It's not super helpful for this, but I appreciate the enthusiasm. So yeah, if you could just talk to
Let me look.
What is it?
No.
Outside of game, what checks would we use against that? Because they
Yeah.
you would
don't
need
really
to be
have
proficient in woodworking tools as one of your starting proficiencies.
I'm almost positive the answer to that is no.
probably not.
You would have gotten it from your background. And I don't think any of you took anything that would have made sense for carpentry to
Nope.
be among your
No.
chosen skills.
Nope.
Big bucket
Sure
of nope.
didn't. Absolutely not.
Okay, well, so if you can do that, I should be able to speed things up a little.
Awesome. We'll go do that.
Cool. Best of luck.
Yep. Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. I start to walk toward. Well, I mean, I guess we're heading off. I'll go towards George's place.
Yeah, we might as well all go because if he releases the
Yep.
stuff, then we can carry it over.
Okay.
Do we know what the supplies are? I hope she specified the supplies.
No, you can just. She didn't really, but.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
George probably has a list.
Yep. Sounds good.
George will know what she ordered.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll head towards George.
Okay, you make it to his blacksmith shop, the third largest building in town.
Yeah. Hi, George. How's it going again? We're back. Sure you love seeing us by now.
I was just done for the day and was about to go eat dinner. Why, you?
So we were investigating this little merfolk debacle here in the recent couple days. We've been speaking with Darla, and we think we're on track to go meet with the merfolk and work out our differences with her here in a couple days. From speaking with her, we need to go on the boat. So
makes sense.
She has that boat that's damaged. We were wondering if there's anything you could do to help us get our supplies for a couple days earlier.
Oh, yeah. Roll me a persuasion check.
Things I'm not good at. Sorry. Oh, 15. Nice.
He sits there for a second, thinks about it. You know, it's probably for the good of the town that this happened, so I don't see the harm in rushing those. I have most of the nails done, but the plane still needs some grinding. You see him look over in the corner at the grinder. He's like, I'll do it tomorrow.
Okay.
Should be done by like mid-morning.
Yep. I don't have any particular woodworking skills, but if there's anything you need in terms of an extra pair of hands, I can be around to help tomorrow.
I can run the grinder myself, and that's all I really need to do is grind down the edge on the plane.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you. We leave, or at least I do.
Yep. At this point, we will bid you adieu and let you
Let's say, if you don't leave, he would just kind of look at you, and he's like,
He's awkwardly staring at each other.
The walking away was implied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He walks back inside his house, and as he opens the door, you can smell stew.
Stew.
All right. I'll just drop by Dara's, let her know the state of the supplies,
Okay.
and head back to the inn.
Yep. Head back to the inn.
Okay. So, for the next 2 days, do you want to do anything interesting, or do you just want to time skip forward?
Not particularly. Time skip.
I mean, we could take a look for the wolves just to see, but I don't really think it's going to be much we're going to able to do unless you want to try and do some animal talking.
I mean, I love to do some animal talking, but it doesn't seem like it's a big enough problem yet.
We better forget this war over faster.
Time skip.
Yeah.
Okay. So, those of you who are staying at the inn, you will need to drop a gold
Cool.
for your 2 days of room and board and meals.
I got you, Matt.
Oh, I'm still tracking my base gold.
Oh, okay, so I'll just minus it from here. Yeah.
Do you want to just track the gold for me? I don't mind. I have. I had 8 gold and 4 silver before that.
If you want to add it, I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah, just throw that in.
All right,
So before paying for my inn, it was 8 gold and 4 silver.
So that'd be 6. So that'd be.
Okay.
I didn't see how much gold I have.
You currently.
All
There
right.
should be a currency box on the screen somewhere.
We put it in that last time, and I didn't use it.
It's in equipment in the top right kind of
Yeah, it
corner.
didn't save.
We
Okay.
never input
We did
the
input
amount
it, it
that
just
we
didn't
pulled out
save.
for your amount.
I think it was 22 is what you had share of the party funds, of which you had not dipped into yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
There we go.
so you meet Darla and George outside Darla's house on the morning of the 3rd day.
Mm-hmm.
You all load into the boat, which takes some doing because you weigh quite a bit. Or is Marvin not going in the boat?
I'm gonna walk there.
Okay. When you say this, they just kind of look at you like, okay, don't get yourself killed out there?
I think he'll be okay. He just doesn't like water. He's weird.
Fair, I guess?
I don't know if you could tell by looking at him, but he's pretty
We're
weird.
getting a boat when we get there.
And no, you be in the boat, just in case I'm late.
Morgana has Bronx go with Marvin to
Okay.
protect them. He protects the
Okay.
Okay.
Well, plus that's less weight on the boat.
Shane, I'm going to need you to roll me a d20. No additions.
6.
Okay.
Rule number 1, don't split the party. What do we do? Split the party.
Yeah, you're fine. It's kind of a drizzly day out, and slogging through the muddy road is unfortunate, but I mean, it's not much better than being on a boat in the rain. There is some bailing necessary, of which I assume you're happy to help out with. Okay. Well, then you uneventfully reach the meeting place, having only seen the other fishermen kind of give you weird looks as you leave and shake their head, and they clearly think you're on some sort of fool's errand.
I wave at them. I really lean into this fool's errand.
Okay.
So is he already waiting for us?
George?
No.
Or-
Did we make it to the fishing spot? Like
You make it there in time. You don't
Okay.
see them, but they could be underwater.
I just wanted to make sure I wasn't ignoring anybody where I should be.
No. Oh, you didn't encounter most of the fishermen stay away from this part of the lake now since they've been attacked the last several times they've gone here. And as you get there and you sit, you're sitting there for a while, and you eventually hear a soft bark from the beach, and you look over and see Bronx and Marvin walking out of the tall grass next to the river. And
Not dead. Good job.
they get there 15 to 20 minutes after you do. The Merfolk delegation has still not arrived. But
We got the time right?
they look up, they're like, midday's a hard thing to judge, especially for those who live underwater.
Yeah.
They'll be here
I
soon.
don't even know how you tell time underwater. That's weird.
I mean, it would be based on the solar radiation penetrating the water levels, but never mind. It's fine. I learned all about it when I was learning the language of the people.
I play fetch with Bronx.
Okay, well,
Thank you, Chrissy.
after you've been there for a few more minutes, you see the delegation come out of the water. You once again see the Lord Mayor and Blurble, who is there, but in the back now. The same bodyguard you saw before is also there, as are two further back who are carrying harpoons, but do not brandish them threateningly, just, holding them as a guard would.
Morgana bows respectfully to the Lord Mayor and says, "Your Highness, it is a pleasure to see you again."
Roll me a dexterity check. Dexterity save, specifically, sorry. There's a difference between those two.
Then
14.
Okay. The boat rocks a little as you stand up and try to bow,
Fair
but
enough.
you're able to stay on your feet. You think some quick
I'm
responses
so
by
glad.
Darla kind of balanced out what you were trying to do and kept the boat from tumbling you over.
I'm so glad you just tipped the.
this is why Marvin stayed on land.
Yeah.
So, the Lord Mayor nods his head to you and says, our respects to the delegation from Lake Town. Now, it appears to me there might have been some misunderstandings the last few times you have spoken. He pauses to allow you to translate.
Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Misunderstandings. I translate.
Okay. George nods his head respectfully as he kind of braces himself in the boat because he's not super used to being on the water, and says, I know we've meant no harm to you and your kind, and that we want nothing but peaceful relations between our peoples.
Morgana then translates that.
Are you translating it directly, or are you spinning it in any way, shape, or form?
I'm going directly.
Okay. You see Blurble speak up a little and says, "Sire, she left out some of the words the landsman spoke."
What words did I leave out, Blurble?
Roll me a persuasion check.
19 plus. Plus nothing, so 19.
Well, that sure beats his 5. And the Lord Mayor just looks back at him and glares, like daggers at him. I think that's enough from you now. Well then, that certainly lends credence to your claims. Now tell us, what do you think are the boundaries of our land?
I convey that, obviously, to everybody else in the boat.
George looks at Darla, shrugs. Darla speaks up and says, "Well, we've always reckoned this bridge was a fine enough marker. It's easily visible to both sides." Is that a problem?
I then convey that.
And the Lord Mayor sits and thinks about it and says, "Yes, it was a fine marker for a while, but your people did push the bridge upstream when they rebuilt it about 50 years ago."
Oh shit. I convey that back.
And George sits and thinks about that for a second. I guess they did. I mean, it was just so we could still use the old bridge while the new one was being constructed, but I guess we did do that. I never even thought of that being a problem.
I suggest...
He just kind of stops and looks at Darla and says, "Do you have any suggestions on how we rectify this?" And
I point in and suggest, if you want to move the markers of the territory, and I'm not saying you do, I'm not here to get into Lake Town politics, but you could just put posts or some sort of marker at the location of the old bridge. You probably already know that.
Did they stop like, yeah, that's a sensible enough idea. They were kind of in panic mode of just, oh shit, I did not think about that. That solution's fine.
So you would potentially be willing to put it back the 50 feet downstream?
Oh, yeah, it's not a huge difference to us.
All right, so then I translate that back to the Lord Mayor.
Do you translate it verbatim, or do you just give the net result?
We're going to go verbatim since things are being
okay.
twisty. Okay. Well, I'd rather be honest because we have no stakes in this. So there's no reason for there to be any leeway of somebody else saying, well, that's not exactly how it was translated. They're being shifty.
So you were actively translating as they were speaking is what I'm hearing. Yeah. Okay. Good to know. And the Lord Mayor kind of follows the conversation stops. As when they didn't even realize how important it was, he looks a little confused and concerned. And when Matt pipes up with his suggestion, kind of just nods. And when you deliver the full final proposal, he's like, we would be amenable to this solution as long as the posts are easily visible from both land and sea and are maintained properly throughout the years. And then, as it's passed along, George just kind of says, we'll get to work on it probably tomorrow. I don't think we can get back and send a crew out that can get here in time today. And we don't have wood-cutting equipment on us, so we'll get on that tomorrow. I'll send some people out.
Can I ask a question for the DM and out of character?
Yeah.
What's the stone situation in Lake Town / surrounding areas?
It's not terribly a rocky area. I mean, if you went to Ironburg, you could find plenty of rocks.
So, like, not enough to construct a fishing weir that they could share symbiotically. That'd make a really great sustainable marker that they could share the yield of and create a nice, diverse interaction between the merfolk and the people of Lake Town.
I think the merfolk want minimal interaction, personally.
But that's because they think the Lake Town people are shifty.
You could do that. It would take much more searching than going to chop down those trees right over there and just digging a hole and dropping them into it.
Yeah, but it would also net gain everybody as opposed to just like a random post.
Okay. That is the logic behind their decision thus far. If you want to suggest that, you're more than welcome to.
Temporary to permanent.
Do you want to suggest that, or are you just...
Worry about that.
I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
I think it's IER. Or EIR. I'll throw it out as a potential... Okay. Your Highness, another thing that you could potentially consider would be using a fishing weir as your divider, where you could then have a sustainable piece of equipment just made out of stones and rocks, where you would be able to both use it as a fishing hotspot, providing sustenance for both Lake Town people and the merfolk. And it would make it really easy to see the division.
We'll see how this first system works.
That's
perhaps
fair.
in the future.
All right, so we need to head back and find supplies, right?
Oh, I think we can leave the Lake Town people to do what they need to do. They have a path forward.
Oh, I guess we should ask the merfolk leader if he requires our assistance anymore, because I am the only person that speaks the language between the two. So I don't know if we should wait until they've put the posts in.
We probably don't need to. Just because, we came to the agreement, the merfolk will be able to see the posts get installed, and I think that's about all we need.
If you raise this concern out loud, George will just say, I'll just tell whoever comes up here to do it to listen to the merfolk and put it where they tell them to.
Okay, cool.
The 50 feet of river we lose to this isn't going to matter to our fishermen, to be honest.
Cool. Sounds like our work's done.
Yep. They exchange, goodbyes. And you row off. Problem solved. Meanwhile, Marvin stands on the banks and just looks confused and hears vague blurbling coming from across the river.
I thumbs up to Marvin as we row away.
I thumbs up, and then I start returning back to town.
Okay.
With Rob.
Shane, I'm going to need you to roll me that D20 again.
9.
Okay. You make it back relatively unscathed.
Tripped a couple times.
Relatively? Did I fall into a bramble bush?
Basically, at one point.
Well, the berries were good.
Okay. You have now solved the merfolk problem. And people are thankful for that. And both Darla and George will thank you for your intervention. Though they do seem concerned about the future since their only translator was a dick.
Hypothetically, how long would it take for me to train somebody in the language?
As you're going back, Darla's like, maybe I could pick up their language. It'll take about a month to get to basically full conversationalism, but you can get the basics in about a week.
Wow.
Darla, would you like me to stay and teach you the basics and at least get the ball rolling?
That would probably be helpful, yeah. That sounds pretty good, yeah.
I got you, fam.
Might also would be good to write some texts.
Well, now you're just asking too much.
Oh wait, yeah. Well, we also don't know if they can read.
She's like, if Hugh hasn't left yet, I'll see if I can get a book about learning the language. I don't know. He might have it.
Who's Hugh?
The trader.
Definitely would advise more than one person learns this, says Marvin from really far away.
Yeah, but once she learns, she could teach people.
Yeah.
You only need one person who somewhat knows what they're doing, and then they can, like you, teaching him Draconic as we walk along. Just shouting it at us.
I'm a very willing student, first of all.
You never know. This might save your life at some point.
Okay.
So now, we could technically still address the wolf problem then, if I'm going to still be here, right? Or is it not walkable?
I mean, the forest starts about 2 hours north of Lake Town. So if you find them in the outskirts of it, sure. If it's deeper into the forest, that gets to, 6 to 8 hours away from the town, which would be hard to do as a go there, come back type thing. So
my preference would be to go out to Ironburg and Summertown at some point, because it sounds like those both have some issues that they need assistance with, although I do see the value in teaching Darla the language.
So maybe you should head off and I'll stay with Darla and I'll meet back up with you in a week. Me and Bronx.
Because
I think if we don't teach them, the exact same thing will just happen, and then it's like, why did we even put the effort in?
I think we were intended to stick together.
Yeah.
Well,
I really don't want to see that guy again soon.
I'm willing to wait here. I think it's valuable.
Oh, okay.
To teach
I'm like,
Darla.
I really think we need to teach her.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Okay.
So then where do you want to go after that?
We can start our search for the wolf problem, the source of the wolf problem here as well. However, I think we should plan to start heading towards Ironburg.
Well, that's what I was wondering. Do we still have stuff to hawk? Are we still carrying stuff?
No, you pretty much.
I think we got rid of everything.
Okay. I was gonna say Ironburg might buy stuff.
You still have the leather armors.
The leather armor.
That's about it.
Yep.
I mean, if we wanted to get into the trading business, we could probably bring some fish or something and bring it to Ironburg and sell it there for a higher price than we bought it here. But
Hugh might take offense to that.
Care all that much, and yeah, let's not piss you off.
If anything, it'd be nice if we could get the 3 cities, towns to start working even more together, especially with the chance of armies coming through in these wolves.
I think they're doing about as good as they can for 3 towns that are a couple days walks away.
Yeah.
Yep.
Council.
We could form a council.
Or call it a task force.
Well, let's see if they're even nice.
We're not the local government, so we shouldn't do that.
Well, we wouldn't be on the task force.
We're not the local government, so we shouldn't do that.
I mean...
But it's for the greater good.
The greater good.
Once one of these assholes actually does win,
what do you mean win?
they're going to get all mad that we started a force without them, and the people who are on the force are probably going to get into trouble.
No, this is a person from each town.
Oh, no.
That's what I was talking
about. That are like doing the whole war.
Okay, well, we know that none of. Oh, I was like, because we know that there's no nobility in Lake Town. There's one citizen, and it's George.
He is nobility in my opinion.
That's true. He is the noblest of all of them. Boy, is that sad or what?
All right. If we're not going to do anything else, I'm going to go over to the tailor and ask her for a heavy-duty cloak. If she has one already in stock, that would fit me.
Did I pick up Bronx's jacket or whatever she was making it?
Yes, that would have been done. Oh, no.
Okay, good.
You would have to wait till after you get back because it would be finished on that day, but you had to leave bright and early in the morning, so...
So I guess in that week's time where I'm teaching Darla, I would like to go pick that up.
Yes. And yes, Shane, you can find a heavy traveler's cloak in shades of cream to brown for a silver.
Are there anything, like any...
I want it as brown as it can be. Super brown.
Okay.
Are there any plants like around the town, like the outskirts at least, that would be good for my medicine, my herbalism kit?
Yeah, you can find
I go foraging.
Mushrooms and things if you want to forage for things like that. If you want to try and offset your costs of staying at the inn, you could also forage for basic foodstuffs.
But yeah, I do think that Bronx and I should go hunting at some point.
Okay.
Because he can chase rabbits.
Okay. You can do that, and I assume that's kind of what you've been doing to feed yourself.
Yeah. Or at least feed Bronx. I don't care about eating as Morgana, but I do care about putting...
You need to eat as a adventurer. That is a thing. And I assume since you have proficiency with survival that you have just been doing that for food.
What's my thingy? Is there any way that I can finagle myself a way to create my own fishing pole?
So you have survival +3. So I would say that you could probably jerry-rig something that would allow you to...
Yeah, can I do a survival check to see if I can make a fishing rod?
Yeah, you're going to have to get some line of some sort, but you can get that for...
It's a fishing town that I would be able to buy line.
Yeah, for like a copper, but yes, you can take a decently resilient stick and tie line to it.
Can I though?
Yes.
No.
This is a 6.
But +3, so no.
9. I was like, can I
I wasn't even going to make you roll that. That's just a thing you can do.
Perfect.
Like, if a 6-year-old can figure out how to do it, your character can.
I have 6-year-olds that cannot figure out how to do it.
How to assemble a simple fishing line?
Yes. Or use it. Well, I'm going to fish.
Okay.
I like to fish.
Okay, you do that as a supplement to your diet.
And also, I want to chat with townsfolk while I'm here. I'm assuming nothing new comes up?
Yeah, nothing new comes up. A lot of them still feel wary of you guys because you're travelers, but you've stuck around long enough and helped out with enough of things that some of them are opening up to you.
Mm-hmm.
You still kind of get the cold shoulder from the majority of them.
That's fine.
Nothing really interesting happens. You learn about their lives, which are the mundane lives of peasants in a medieval society. Some of them farm, some of them fish.
The essentials.
Yep.
All right. Can we just kill time and fast forward?
Yep. Is anyone else doing anything in that week?
With Darla learning.
No, there's not going to be any challenges to that. Anyone else want to do anything? It just...
I mean, I guess I'd like to do a little bit of investigation of the wolf issue. Maybe attempt. I guess I'd just like to stay around and listen to see if there were any other issues that people had seen with them.
I know I'm gonna go and do like foraging,
Any livestock
little
or
hunting
something.
out in the woods myself. So if we can double that, where she's teaching, Matt and I can go and investigate those wolves.
Okay.
That works.
Yeah, I'd go hunting or something to pass the time rather than sitting in it and drinking all week.
Far away.
Well, if they're getting close enough that the town is starting to worry about it, we can at least see if we can tell like how close they're getting more than just, stock over here was attacked, stock over there was attacked. Maybe we can see like a traveling pattern.
But didn't you not want to do that without me because I speak to animals?
Well, we're not going to. Preferably, we're not going to interact with them. We're just going to
Preferably,
track
yes,
them.
you would not interact with them.
Okay. Is that what you two are going to do during the day?
Might as
you're
well.
going during the day, you'll be fine.
Yeah, might as well use the time for something at least reasonable.
I'm going to need a
That's why you'll be tracking during the day.
survival roll from either and or both of you.
Okay.
3. I rolled really good.
That one.
Okay. So basically, the way this week goes is each morning you kind of wake up and you walk into the woods and you look around a bit and you're like, yep, don't see any wolves.
These are woods.
You walk a few hours in and you're like, still no wolves. Okay. Looks like the sun's almost all the way up. Guess we'll head back now. Yeah, and you head back, and then you're like, yep, didn't see any wolves.
Perfect.
On the third day of the week, a chicken goes missing.
Oh. Well then.
And you go out to find it, and
Don't see any
you
wolves.
Don't see any chickens either.
Yeah, there's no chicken.
Damn it.
There's no wolves, and you don't see a chicken either. And you figure a chicken would be real easy to spot. They're kind of loud and bright colored.
Unless they're dead.
They're still bright colored.
In a forest? There's a lot of things in a forest. They're pretty small.
Also highly dependent on the chicken.
Yeah.
What breed of
What
chicken
kind of chicken do we got here, Jay?
It's a rainbow
Jay,
chicken.
you didn't pick your species of chickens?
No. Okay. So we did a really good
Look,
job.
you asked
At
me-
the end of the week.
You asked me about what species of catfish it is earlier, so
I did.
I am not getting that specific. This is a pretty standard brown chicken that has a bit of red on it.
That
you know-
doesn't sound colorful at all. You'd never
Marvin.
find that in the woods, Matt.
The
Marvin,
red would be easy to find it.
At the end of the week, I high-five Marvin for a good week of hard work. You know, we didn't catch what we intended to, but we tried. So,
Mind you, this is not dense forest you're going through. This is pretty evenly spaced out forest.
I super high five you as well, and I say, I think we just.
Like minimal underbrush.
yeah.
Yes,
absolutely.
minimal underbrush.
Perfect.
So
Like this is like
so
Midwest,
ourselves.
mostly flat, occasionally sloping hills forest
This is
where
like
you
when
can
we
see a
couldn't
deer
see
from a
cows.
mile away.
Oh yeah, this is exactly like we couldn't see past the cows.
Perfect.
It's exactly that.
This is worse than we couldn't see past the cows.
No, it's exactly as bad. The 3 was the highest that you got for the
We-
cows.
we
And
couldn't
that's
see
how
the-
you saw the cow behind you.
It's okay, Shane. We just couldn't see the trees for the forest.
We were in a forest.
Stop. I'm
Uh.
so mad at you right now.
So,
We did hard work. Let's go get a drink.
Yeah.
you spend a week. And Christy, they 100% confirm to you that there are not any wolves in that forest. They are very confident about this matter.
Enthusiastically so.
Could I counter offer, Marvin, that maybe we go when wolves are active, which would be like dusk/nighttime, mayhaps.
You mean they don't sleep at night like everything else?
Morgana pats Marvin's head affection and also
you have to go like up on tiptoes.
Jump pat condescendingly and also affectionately.
What does your dog think about this, Morgana? Are there wolves?
Bronx. He licks my hand, and I say, "You want to go find your cousins?" Bronx says,
He
"Yeah."
just kind of shrugs. He likes that you're talking to him.
How does a dog shrug?
Okay, so is that what you're going to do on your first day after getting the basics out?
Well, that's my suggestion. It's up to my comrades. They're very adamant that there are no wolves.
Yeah, I think we should just head towards Ironburg. I don't think
they don't want us to go and kill the wolves at this point.
But guys, I could talk to them, you know? Maybe I could ask them and see if they are there. Or we could talk to the chickens.
Maybe we'll meet them along the road from Ironburg, you know? Like, we don't have to inconvenience ourselves by walking through the woods. We can just stay, you know, on the road, and you can have Bronx go off into the woods or something.
I mean, I'm not going to send Bronx off to find a pack of wolves on his own.
You will remember
they were his cousins.
They are his cousins, but his cousins will also rip his throat out if given the chance.
You will remember that you did see signs of wolves in the bandit encampment you encountered. That they scavenged some of the bodies while you were sleeping. Which none of you heard.
There was that.
Yeah. There was that, wasn't there?
I guess they were really
maybe
we could go there.
We could get a dead thing and leave it out overnight. And if we get the dead thing and leave it out overnight, we can watch for the wolves.
Or we could get a live thing and leave it out.
In all fairness, where you were where you encountered the bandits was about 12 hours away from town, and Matt and Shane only expected the 3 or 4 hours away part of the woods.
Okay.
So it was probably around there.
It was right at the bend in the road was where you encountered the bandits.
It's technically on the way. And it's a good stopping point.
That's fair.
So I say we head over to Ironburg or Summertown, whichever. We can flip a coin to decide which one.
I vote Ironburg. I have a good feeling about it.
Yeah, from what George was telling us, they have a higher possibility list of issues that they could be running into.
And they have a goblin problem.
Guys, I hate spiders.
But we're going to kill some goblins.
But the spiders might kill us.
I'm not
There's
fighting
a problem
spiders.
with spiders. They have to be big if they have a problem with them. Like, are these 8-legged freak spiders?
They're
just like
giant spiders. The monster spider, giant spider, is a people-sized spider.
Yeah, that's fucking terrifying. That is like my worst nightmare.
Well,
you know how Marvin is scared of the water? That's me with these spiders.
Okay. So you want to go to Summertown first, is what you're saying?
No, I just want one of you to protect me from the spiders.
Well,
let's go.
I'll help with the goblins and the orcs. But I don't know that I can handle the spiders.
Okay. I mean, well, we'll work together as a team, but I'm pretty confident we won't die from spiders.
Okay.
I hope I know spiders.
So.
I have no feelings from one way or the other, so.
Yeah, well, you're scared of water, so.
I'm not scared of water. I just dislike it.
Yeah, enough.
As Marvin gets defensive.
Townsend crosses his arms.
I'm not scared. I just avoid it at all costs.
It just gives me anxiety.
Okay, so your course of action is to head to Ironburg, which is approximately a 21-hour walk along the road. And you're not gonna, and it'll be longer than that if you try to use the not road.
Yeah, we're not going to try to use the Knot Road. I'm just going to start out early one morning. I suggest we start out early one morning and go for 2 days.
Okay.
Yeah, we can stop at the abandoned encampment, maybe even try and take.
Okay. So, who wants to be party leader for this stretch of the adventure?
Sure.
Wait,
Whoever decides on it, roll me a d20.
can we make Bronx? Can we make Bronx party?
Yeah, can we make Bronx the leader?
Okay, then, Christy, you'll still roll the dice.
Damn it. He rolled a 6.
Okay. The day you decide to set out, it starts pouring about 2 hours into your journey and does not stop.
Traveler's cloak. Yes. This was a good purchase.
Excuse me.
But you're able to make it to the spot where you think is where you left the road to go find the bandits? Kind of? Maybe?
Well, it was by that field, if I remember correctly. Right?
That was after you went into the forest a while, you found a clearing where they ambushed you. And then you went in further and found the camp, but you're not exactly sure if this is where you left the road last time. It was somewhere around here? Anyone want to try to make a check to alleviate that?
Survival check to see if I recognize the location.
There we go.
That would be a good idea.
Can I do that with a perception check, or does it have to be survival?
You can use a perception as well.
21. Let's go. Actually, 21.
You want me to do this?
If you want to, you don't have to.
15 plus.
So
am I doing perception or am I doing survival?
All you.
Both are plus 3. So.
Okay, well then 18.
Okay. Well, Matt looks around, or Hal looks around and sees, he's like, oh, I remembered that tree from last time. And Morgana looks down and she's like, yeah, and there's some broken branches from where we just kind of stomped through last time. And by we, I mean you two.
They were in the way.
Am I right for thinking of that would be the correct tone of that message?
I'm a large person.
Large person.
I'm stocky.
Okay. So, yes, you find the spot where you went in last time. And you just walk back in?
Morgana's gonna... Can she look around and see if there's any evidence of wolves, whether they be tracks or scat or...
Are you doing that from the road or once you get into the woods?
Like on the way into the woods looking for things.
Okay.
So not from the road, but like actively looking?
Yes. So go ahead and roll me another survival check.
I'll also actively look for things if that is
That would have to
acceptable.
be survival.
Yeah, we're all going to keep an eye out for these signs while we're walking in.
Is that a 1?
This time,
Yeah.
Sure is.
this time I got an 18.
Hey, guess who else got a 1?
Can Bronx also roll? Because he might be the only
I got an 18.
On
guys.
survival?
Okay, well,
Yes.
Matt, while your character is looking, Marvin goes, guys, I found some proof of some wolves, and I point up into the trees.
Marvin.
That's about what I was going to say you did anyway, so...
See, I imagine Morgana goes, oh my god, look! And then trips and falls and covers all of the tracks, and then there are no more wolf tracks.
No. You say, guys, look, it's wolf tracks. And then you look up and it's Bronx. You're just following his footprints.
You know, Marvin, here I was all last week thinking you were a master tracker. And you come here and you do this to me.
Hey, everyone has their days.
But Matt, you find, and it's not terribly hard to do, some...
Please be a wolf in a tree.
No, some obvious signs that wolves have been in the area. There's some light imprints here and there, though the rain's clearly clearing those away. You definitely spy at least one wolf dookie.
All right. Do I get any inclination of their level of activity here, or if they might be denning close to here, or?
Well, knowing what you know about last time, you did just leave a bunch of bodies out. And that's free food for like 2 days before it goes funky.
Very true.
So you kind of just left a wolf buffet sitting here real close to the road.
Absolutely.
But also a crow buffet.
That's true. And speaking of that, you would probably see some vultures around as you get deeper into the woods. And as you get closer to the clearing where you stopped on that first day, it gets quite unfortunate smelling, and gets worse and worse as you walk closer and closer to that clearing.
Well, at least it seems we're getting closer.
Do you think we should do something about the smell? It might deter people who are trying to walk along the road.
No,
I guess it'll go away.
You're like almost an hour off of the road at this point.
Oh, this is the camp. Sorry.
Yeah, this is the clearing that you were ambushed in.
Yep.
And if you
are there remains still there?
Yes, there is a pile of rotting human remains that have been largely picked at, but still funky.
Does it look like there's still enough meat for them to be coming back, or should we put a new offering out?
No, the wolves won't touch it now. It's too far gone.
Oh, then we should just set it on fire so that the smell is better.
Yes, burning flesh. The best.
Fire.
Well, afterwards, though, once it's already ash, it doesn't smell anymore.
But wouldn't the fire scare them away? Possibly, maybe.
Are you
I will also remind you, it is pouring down rain right now.
It's still raining.
I don't have hopes of liaisoning with the wolves anyway. What are we going to do? Tell them to not attack people.
And you notice as you get to the clearing, the vultures are in fact concentrated around here. Because now it is a vulture buffet. Because they don't care about how far gone meat is.
Yeah, I say, you know what? I don't really have a whole lot of hopes of... I don't know. What do we plan to do once we find the wolves, I guess?
I'm unconvinced still. It's wolves.
We could...
Because one chicken for an entire pack of wolves, it would have to either be a lone wolf or multiple chickens.
They could just be taking what they need if they're running out of food in the wilderness.
Once again, one chicken for an entire pack of wolves would not be enough food that they need.
I mean, I suppose you're right. It could be a stray.
Christy, will you give me a nature check?
Yes. Fucking Christ. What is my... You pull up my sheet?
Whatever it is, it's not going to pass.
4.
4, okay. Yeah. Never mind. You haven't put the 2 and 2 together that I was going to suggest you might have.
Thank you. Marvin doesn't trust my D20.
That's fair.
Well, I always have a spare.
Sorry, guys. I did my best.
So,
well, I think the overall plan is for us to find Wolf, talk with Wolf, see if we can fix the problem for Wolf so they go away.
Or if it's a lone wolf, we could befriend Wolf and Wolf could join our team.
That is another option.
I highly doubt we'd get that into the city.
I mean, who would say no if you have a wolf?
I will point out that you have not encountered anything that would even remotely pass for a city thus far. You have been to a town. Yes. Yeah. As I have mentioned, there are several vultures flying around, and
yeah, but I can't be a bird yet.
if you look closely at the pile, you'll see plenty of insects and maggots eating away at the corpses.
So how about we get out of here where it smells bad and head back towards the road, camp along the road for the night, and just stay on our way. I'm not sure we're going to be able to make contact with the wolves here now, and it also smells terrible, so I'd like to get away from that.
Yep.
Fair enough. So, you walk back to the road, and it's still raining. Do you just lie asleep on the mud on the side of the road? What is your plan for sleeping?
I have camping equipment, I believe. Let's see what I have.
I know we have bedrolls. I don't know if those count as tents.
I have just a bedroll, which is unfortunate, but
you don't have any rope?
I do have rope.
Can we fashion our bedrolls and our rope into hammocks?
So,
but it's still raining.
How much rope do you have?
50 feet, but that wouldn't. I'm a soldier. I have camped in rain before.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of trees are around us? Are any of them that we could easily climb up into one and just sleep on a branch?
It's mostly old growth deciduous trees around here, so.
Is there any high ground?
You go south off the road, it gets to slightly hillier.
But we're
it
not
builds into the
necessarily
mountain.
in a low spot where like flooding might be a potential.
No, the entire land here is kind of sloped downward to the north, including past the road, so the forest is actually a little bit in slightly downhill, but it's, mostly flat, but you're not in a low spot.
So we're going to end up, unfortunately, wet, but I'll do the best I can making a makeshift tent out of clothing and trying to be under thick trees.
Okay.
So, like, a
roll
quick
me a survival check for that. Because that's 100% what that is.
14.
I mean, you're all going to have to do it, so.
Yeah. 14.
Okay.
Oh my god.
13.
So, that fits though, because I just imagine that you pulled out your bedroll and just flopped in the mud anyways and didn't really care.
As long as Brax is with me, who cares?
So you see the two of them just building these elaborate shelters and lean-tos under trees, and you're just like, meh.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Our party's a bunch of hobos.
We are a mess.
I'm going to need a Constitution save from all of you.
Well, nat 20.
Okay.
At least you saved on the important one. 20. Non-natural.
11.
Oh, do I have an...
Okay. Shane.
You have a nat 20, so you succeed.
Your bag is not super waterproof, and neither are you. And the long, cold, rainy night was not pleasant for you to be in. And you have begun to chafe from extended exposure to wet conditions.
Yeah, there's no heavy cloak saving this.
You're going to move 5 feet slower per round. Unless you want to take a point of damage, at which point you can move at full speed.
That's an interesting thing to happen.
I mean, it's how I would rule chafing happening into the game, so...
Yeah, because chafing can technically lead to blisters, which you can count as damage.
Okay.
I'll take the damage, because that's just going to be easier to deal with overall.
No. Each round you want to do that is 1 damage.
Oh.
Yeah. So when you wake up in the morning, Marvin asks to go at a little slower pace today.
No, we have to go as fast as possible.
I will meet you there then.
I'm kidding. We'll slow down.
You have weird jokes.
I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. That was a lie.
See? Weird joke.
Okay, well, you've got about 9 hours of walking ahead of you. And,
yeah, sounds like a lot of fun.
Marvin's really loving the idea of that.
No, the complete opposite.
Should have made a better camp.
Well, no, his camp was good enough. He just failed the Constitution save that prevented that from happening. He failed it by exactly 1. Christie's DC was much higher, but she was fine.
That doesn't mean that my character doesn't know that he failed the save. He thinks he just did a bad job
that's fair.
keeping himself dry overnight.
Which, low-level travel, it's fun if you don't have the right provisions.
Yeah.
So who wants to roll the d20 for the second half of the journey?
I'll do it.
Please.
20!
Okay. As you're walking, down the road, about midday, you see a smaller lake than the lake of Lake Town's namesake in front of you, and the road kind of tees there, and there's a signpost that says Summertown and points this way, and Ironburg this way, and there's a sun next to Summertown's name, and a pickaxe, a pictogram of a pickaxe next to Ironburg's name. And as you look in front of you, you can see a small group of people fishing on the lake, 500 feet off the road in front of you.
So they're by the shore in the lake, or they're 500 feet out in the water?
500 feet away from you, at the shore of the lake,
okay.
There are people.
We are there.
I mean,
we have no reason.
I guess I don't really have a reason to go up to them.
Do we make eye contact with them?
Yeah, they'll see you and wave,
And I politely wave back.
Oh, yeah, they're waving. Yeah, wave back.
Oh, yeah. Wave back. I guess if they wave, I'll walk up. Say hi. How you doing?
They look up at you and they're like,
how's the fishing?
Decent. Actually, if you really want to know, it's a bit crappy. Ha ha ha! And the guy just...
Quite a black crappie.
I turn around and walk away. No.
I wouldn't be surprised if that joke went over your head in character.
That's true. I don't know.
I just blankly stare and I go, what?
Morgana goes, ha ha, black or white?
Black. It holds one up. You guys are awfully well equipped for folks around this part that aren't in an army. And he kind of looks at you a little warily at that, noticing you don't bear any insignias, nor do you look like soldiers.
It's a long story.
We're just traveling through.
Yeah, we're just traveling through at this point.
Dangerous times for that.
Why? What's going on?
The war? It's, all over the place? That whole thing?
Yeah, we did run into a few bandits along our path here. I mean, we took care of them, though. It was no big deal.
Oh, that was you! That's good to hear.
Yeah. Your video just died.
Yep.
Yeah, your video, Fred. Okay.
I realized it too.
I mean, they ambushed us, so we didn't really have much of a choice, I guess.
That's fair. Well, care for lunch, it's the least I can do for the people who help take care of the bandits.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, we'd love to join.
I'd love to have a break. It's a long walk from Lake Town.
Yeah. That's why most people don't make it. It's weird, it's just over a day's ride away, and 90% of the people in Summertown haven't even been there. And here you are from even further away than that.
Yeah. My memory's a bit fuzzy on how we got here, but I guess we were placed where we needed to be.
I guess that's good. And he's pleasantly chatting while he prepares some fish that he's grilling up on a fire he assembles in a simple cast iron pan. And he has some local greens that he pairs with it and offers it to you.
So I'll ask him, is he from, I guess he already said he's from Summertown. So I asked, how are things going around Summertown?
Pretty good. Farmlands are kind of receding. That's a bit annoying. And there's been some reports of people saying wolves, but if you ask me, I think that's just Farmer Joe complaining that he lost a chicken because he can't maintain a fence to save his life. I mean, without the army in the area, it'd be a normal summer. But
yeah, no, absolutely.
Conscriptions kind of suck.
Mm-hmm.
They do, in fact. I know Lake Town has lost quite a few of their good young men to the conscription in the army.
Yeah.
It's interesting, though, that you mentioned the wolves. Lake Town appears to have seen an issue with it, too. Now, I know farmers will complain about any loss of stock, but it's interesting that both places are kind of seeing the same problem, potentially.
Well, I mean, the forest stretches from here to Lake Town, so...
I guess it wouldn't be. But it gives me more of a thought that it might actually be wolves, rather than just a couple isolated incidents.
That's fair. Unless, Farmer Joe just heard rumor that there were wolves at Lake Town and decided that was what to blame. I mean, up to you what you believe.
So Farmer Joe's quite the complainer, is he?
He is known for it.
How much livestock has gone missing up here due to the alleged wolves? Just the chicken?
Two chickens and a quail.
And what was the duration of time?
3 weeks.
That's a long time.
That's why we don't really... That's why no one's really putting much stock in it.
How often do soldiers come through here?
I don't know. When the battlefront moves this way, and some months it's once a week, other times we won't see him for 6 or 9 months. Once William kind of took over the area, the patrols really slowed down. He doesn't tend to lose ground much, but he's been real slow at gaining it, so... we're just back from the front now, so... anytime they feel like they really need resupply, they just kind of go to whatever farm town's nearest and take some, so who knows?
I'm going to turn to Hal and say, maybe we should go talk to Farmer Joe after this lunch.
I agree. Farmer Joe might be our next stop after we go to Ironburg. It's a good idea.
I think she said after lunch.
Oh, I don't even know. He kept mentioning Summertown. Are we still in the split, or are we nearer to
Yeah,
you're right at the fork.
We're at the split by the lake.
He just kept speaking about Summertown, so I wasn't sure if
That's because he's from Summertown.
So how far of a walk is it from Summertown there?
About 3 hours.
Okay.
Same to Ironburg. Ironburg just goes up into the hills and mountains, and Summertown goes down to the lowlands.
Can I do some fishing while we're hanging out here to see if I can get some crops to sell in Ironburg for us to?
Sure. Roll me a survival check.
17 plus
3.
20.
You definitely catch some, and the fisherman will look over at you and be like, "That's impressive with such a simple rig. You know you should get yourself a reel kit one of these days."
I really should. I want one so bad.
He stops and thinks, shrugs and says, "Why the hell not?" Hands you his. You saved us from the bandit.
Look at this rod! Look at this reel! Ah! She's excited. Bronx is excited.
But he doesn't know why. He's just excited because you're excited.
Ripped the line off of the other one, and that is now his stick.
The fisherman just seems happy that you're happy.
I profusely thank him.
Okay.
You stop the bandits. That'll save me money in the long run.
There we go. So I think we're close to wrapping up. I'll say,
yep.
Thanks,
After you
stranger,
eat,
for the meal. Appreciate it.
thanks for taking care of the bandits.
Yeah. Best of luck to you and yours.
Same to you. Have fun in Ironburg. And he nods. He kind of packs up the rest of his stuff and walks back up towards Summertown.
What official is William? Is he like a military person?
William is one of the heirs.
Heirs, okay.
William the Augur. The one who knows how to use magic.
Oh, that's why auger. Okay.
Yes.
So not like the farming implement. Okay.
No, as in seer of the future.
That makes a lot more sense.
But he knows we're coming.
If you were going to encounter him, there's a strong chance. That's the reason he doesn't lose ground, is because he can usually see when attacks are coming. He's just bad at predicting how his opponents will respond to attacks. That is a much broader spectrum of the future. Okay, so you finish the 3-hour walk down to Ironburg and get there early afternoon.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're walking, the road slowly starts sloping upwards and getting a little more hilly and rolly. And by the 3rd hour, you notice this mountain range popping up in front of you, and you're clearly walking into a valley, kind of into the middle of it. And as you enter this valley, you see there's a nice little town nestled in it. And you see the telltale signs of mines pitting the back wall of the valley, as you assume the place where the town's name come from. It is a little bit bigger than Lake Town, but roughly the same size. Maybe.
So like 15 minutes to walk around instead of 10?
It's a bit more dense.
Fair enough.
So, but it seems to be, 50-ish people population instead of the 30-ish that Lake Town was.
They're not all cousins.
But they are.
What did you say? I just missed it.
They must all be cousins.
Yeah, solid chance of that.
Definitely in Lake Town, at least. They're all related. There's only 30 of them.
Okay.
Welcome to medieval society.
Yeah. Can I look around for a market to sell these fish? Is it an appropriate time of day? You said it's what, mid-afternoon?
Yeah, mid-afternoon. You look around, and it looks mostly like housing, and there's, once again, an inn in the center of town. This one's much shorter and squatter than the one in Lake Town.
Really fat-shaming the inn, huh?
Okay.
You could probably sell the fish to the inn.
Yeah, if you're the chef. Is there a chef at this inn?
I mean, there's a innkeeper who does all of the work of the inn.
I'm going to go to the inn.
Okay.
We should also probably claim rooms
The room is kind of low and smoky, and you see long left soot stains above each of the spots where the sconces on the walls are for the candles. It's a bit dingier than the one in Lake Town, and I don't know. It's the difference between
town characteristics.
Yeah, I was about to say it's the difference between a farming town and a mining town. It's a bit lower, a bit darker, and a bit sootier.
Yep.
The man behind the counter, who you assume was a miner at one point in his life, giving his impressive physique, looks up at you and says, "Travelers, huh? Just don't make any trouble."
We don't plan on it.
Wouldn't dream of it.
Why the hell are you all covered in mud?
Well, you see, the funny thing is,
on the roof from Lake Town was pretty wet.
Oh.
The past couple days.
You morons were walking through that storm?
Sure were.
I've walked through worse.
We just couldn't wait to get to Ironburg.
At that, he looks genuinely surprised. He's like, "This hole in the wall?
4 new places. And look, I got a fishing rod on the way." And she excitedly showed her brand new fishing rod and reel.
I don't know how
my nephew has the same kind.
Yeah, but you should have seen my last one.
Okay then.
Okay.
I'm just exacerbatedly sighing in the corner.
I immediately ask for an ale.
I need a drink. Doesn't even ask. He just demands a drink.
5 copper.
Okay. I toss it on the table, and I start drinking quickly. I'm not going to chug it, but it's going down pretty fast.
Okay.
Morgana's going to ask the innkeeper if there's any possibility she could trade these fish for a night stay at the inn.
You know, we have gold.
Yeah, but I also have fish, and I have to get rid of them somehow.
Yeah.
Ouch. Why don't
you caught 2 or 3? He looks at him and he goes, "Why the hell not? I'll cook him up with dinner."
Okay. Expert trader Morgana over here.
I like to barter, guys.
That's fair. And you can do that. He looks you up and down and he's like, "I'm guessing you'll probably be wanting a bath, too."
Yes, please.
That would be greatly appreciated.
There's a tub out back.
Perfect. Morgana.
Well, water is a little cold, but you learn to deal with it.
Can't be any colder than the rain was last night.
He laughs at that. He's like, "Oh, you couldn't be more wrong."
Jesus, what did I do to deserve this?
It's spring water from a mountain spring.
I know it's from the mountains. I understand.
You don't have anything that's going to heat it up.
Are you kidding? Start a tiny little fire.
Yeah, I don't.
So, anyway, I take our bath.
Do you still have create bonfire?
Thank you! I was literally just saying I could start a freaking fire, and he's like, "You have nothing."
I didn't make it. Where is it?
So I'm just gonna suffer through the cold,
the bath,
and get out there get out of there as fast as I can.
What is true?
Do you just have create or control flame now?
No, I don't have that either.
Did you get rid of those? Let me look real quick.
I have Beast Bond, Animal Friendship, Healing Words, Speak with Animals, Poison Spray, and what's the other one? Druidcraft? Or whatever at the top.
Well, that's what you have prepared. So that's like something that you can immediately do in combat.
It would be on your cantrips. It would be where these were.
Control flame, cantrips, right there, and create bonfire, cantrip.
Yes, I don't know those. I only have Druidcraft.
You should have more than one cantrip.
I have 2. I have Poison Spray and Druidcraft.
Okay. That seems about right then.
Yep.
Okay. Shape water, that's the other one you have. Okay. Anywho, so yeah, it's cold spring water. And are the rest of you trying to buy a room for the night?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, it'll be 5 silver for each of you.
Okay, so as the night goes on, not immediately when we got in, but just after a couple beers, I want to speak with the innkeeper. I'll just bring up, we were able to help out Lake Town with a couple things as we were passing through. We heard you guys might have been having some issues with some goblins or something out here. We were wondering if we could get any information on. We're just looking to help out.
Yeah. The green skinned bastards come from the forest to the south and harass us every few weeks or so. I mean, we've done a good job of defending them so far, but we haven't really had a force to muster to strike back.
All right. Well, we took care of some bandits the other day. I'm sure the goblins will be much of the same stock. So, but do we have a map or anything by chance? Does the party have a map? Do I understand where I am?
No,
we have
you do not.
Where we are.
You have not requested that at any place you've gone,
nope,
nor would any of the places really have it.
Nope, and that's totally fair. I guess I'm just asking, for general directions in terms of where they think the goblins are camped, where we might look.
So as he said, the forest to the west, where it's kind of the wooded foothills of the mountain. They're somewhere in there. He's not exactly sure where.
Not really any specifics. All right.
One of the trappers might know more, but they're weird folk.
Are there any trappers in the inn tonight?
They're trappers. Who knows when they're going to show up?
Do you know where we could find trappers?
No, I mean...
when they come into town, they'll come in here, but
there were no...
Who the hell knows when they show up?
Present in the inn was my question.
No,
I guess I could
not.
tell that by looking around because they would be dressed like trappers. But... okay, so anyway, I have a couple more beers probably or whatever, and then go to bed.
Okay, it's 5 copper for each one.
All right. Well, let's say
actually, so no, after you bought the room, he just gave you the discounted price of 2 coppers per.
All right. Well, let's say I had 5, which is a full silver.
Okay.
We need to buy a tent.
We probably should at that.
Either that or go hunting and start tanning our own.
Do you mention that here?
Sure.
He's like, the general goods store should have one in, I think.
Great.
Tomorrow we go there. I'm not sleeping in the rain again. And I just walk up to the room.
Weird dude.
Very. He surprises me every day.
How did he get like that? Was he born that way?
Yeah, I think so.
Huh. Weird.
He's like half dragon or something. I don't know.
Huh.
I
don't want to picture that.
It's weird. I've traveled quite a few places in my time before I retired. And you meet interesting folk all over the place. You kind of get used to it after a while.
Yeah, I guess interesting folk to me are people from Lake Town, so...
Why are they so interesting to you?
Because they're not the people he's used to every day.
I mean, is he used to Summertown people every single day?
They come over more often. It's only a half day's ride from there. They're where we get most of our food and, animal goods from. So we'll see a cart from Summertown probably 2 or 3 times a week. Person from Lake Town comes in maybe once or twice a year.
Wow, it seems awful long considering how it's not that far.
Well, a farmer or fisher would have to effectively take 3 or 4 days off from farming or fishing to come up here for arguably no reason. Unless they wanted to buy ore.
It's not like you can just get in the car and drive.
What's a car?
I was out of character. It's like a cart, but it drives itself.
Fair enough.
Okay.
I mean, someone wants to learn magic, we could invent one.
Yes, Shane, we could invent a vehicle.
It's like a 3rd level spell to do animate object cart. It's not even hard.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure it has been done before. Though not very often around here, since magic is kind of a touchy subject in this world. Because the last emperor was not a fan of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you doing anything that night, or just getting drunk in house
What time
case?
is it?
You got there in the middle of the afternoon, and I assume you guys took like 2 hours to get cleaned up and just deal with the cold water?
Yeah, I'm drying my clothes now.
Bronx and I are going to go hunting.
Okay. Roll me a survival check.
I'll see.
14?
Okay. He is able to catch raccoons.
Well, there are worse things to eat. I'm going to skin them and prepare them.
Okay. You eat coon meat for dinner, I guess.
Yeah.
And have skinned raccoons. Roll me a survival for how well you skin them.
12.
Mostly intact. You chop the head off of one of them. Other one's a little dinged up in the ribs area. You're still passable.
I wonder if we can sell the hides.
You could.
I had assumed that's why you were doing it, since he mentioned trappers come through here.
Well, I mean, I also wouldn't cook it with the skin on it.
That's true.
So I was more preparing it. But now that I didn't suck, I would like to keep them for selling, please.
Okay. Since you probably walked around town a little more than the other two, it is very easy to tell which shop is the tanner's shop.
I walk to the tanner's shop.
I mean, it's closed up by the time you get back, but...
But we know where it is in the morning?
Yeah. The chemicals involved in the tanning process are very noticeable to the layperson.
How many raccoons did I end up getting?
2. Okay.
Cool. I also definitely offer raccoon meat to my companions.
I turned down the raccoon meat because it's trash meat for a trash animal. From a trash animal.
I'm in my room.
They have the fish stew that the innkeeper was making from the fish you gave him.
I mean, 3 fish wouldn't make a good stew.
It's a good base for a stew. For the 5 people he's feeding from it.
Yeah.
He has a few more fish.
Already, so I'm eating my raccoon.
It was just nice to add fresh fish to the batch of saltfish he had.
Yeah.
Is effectively what it was.
Saltfish.
Enjoy your raccoon. I'm sure you like it very much.
That's a good portion of what they eat around here.
Asshole, but thanks for playing.
How did we get stuck together?
I don't
Wait,
know.
don't I ask
Well,
my-
no, I do know.
Every day.
But
Divine
don't
intervention.
like to think about it.
And by divine, I mean infernal.
I don't like to think about it. Don't bring it up.
Bring what up?
The thing.
What thing?
Don't worry about it.
Cool.
Okay. You all sleep. And in the morning, you have some self-defined tasks that you decided to do on. And you didn't see any trappers come in late last night.
Okay.
Okay. So I know you want to go to the general store and see if you can go buy a tent.
Yes.
And that you want to go try to sell off your coonskins.
Yeah. I wonder if I could just barter for a tent. But we'll sell the skins.
Well, we still have the.
I mean, we probably only need 1 tent, maybe 2 tents.
I mean, Bronx and I need our own tent.
Okay.
They're not going to. From what you just told me, you two are very large people.
They are, in fact, very large people.
So, like, you want 2 very large people plus me plus a pit bull in a single tent.
It might be a really big tent.
You want to lug around a very big tent?
I'm just saying, it could be. We don't know.
How much is a tent?
As you go to the general store, he will charge you $3 for a simple 2-person canvas tent. 3 gold pieces, sorry.
It's like, what is dollars in this world?
Just to clarify, before we go in and we try to purchase these, we went and removed the insignias on that leather armor, and we have 5 of them or 7 of them?
You have 5 of them.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm reading my notation correctly. So
you did not want to recover the 2 that you had left when you encountered the bodies a second time.
Yeah, not at that point. So we'll go in. I will.
Well, he'll go in.
I'll go in and ask for 3 canvas tents.
Don't buy mine yet.
Well,
I want to see what we can get for the raccoon skin before I buy that tent.
Oh. Well, then I'll wait for you at that point.
Yeah.
So
depending on how much gold we get from or silver.
Yeah, well, we're also going to sell the leather armor, unless you guys want to hold on to it for any reason.
Nope.
I'd rather just hawk it.
Cool. So we're going to go to the general store and say that we are interested in some tent and tenting equipment. And we also have these 2 raccoon pelts.
All those are going
Talk to the tanner for that.
Oh, yeah, off to the tanner. But 5 sets of leather armor, if you are interested.
I'm not an armory. I'm a general goods store.
Is there an armory in town?
No, but if you approach some of the miners about it, they might be interested if the cost is low enough. Especially those who are avoiding conscription.
Cool. Well, Morgana's going to go to the tanner.
Okay. He looks you up and down. You're new.
Sure am.
It's actually a woman. Bridget is her name.
Bridget?
Yep. Not many women in your profession.
Boy, you could say that again.
What can I do for you?
Well, I was able to get some raccoons, and I was wondering if you were interested in purchasing the pelts.
Why not? They sell for good enough at the Capitol. Can I see them?
Sure.
Looks at them. I'll give you 7 silver for the 2 of them.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. She reaches in, pulls out the 7 silver, sets it on the table. Good doing business with you.
Can I look around the shop?
Yeah. I mean, it's mostly bits of, like, cow leather for the vast majority of it, but you do see some smaller skins like... there's a lot of cow, a lot of elk, / deer, and then there's smaller ones like squirrel, raccoon. You see a bobcat skin, actually.
Ooh, a bobcat skin. I'm assuming I have to see the living form of the creature in order to be it.
Yeah. I mean, you've probably never seen a bobcat before, but you've seen things like bears and deer and all that stuff.
Cool.
Just by existing in the world. Any common animal you would have seen.
All right. So now we've sold those, and we need to find people to buy our armor.
Yep.
I'm going to ask, Bridget, would you by any chance know anybody that might be interested in purchasing armor?
What kind of armor?
Leather armor.
Some of the better off miners might want it for when they have to hide from the conscriptions, but you'd have to go on person-to-person basis for that.
Do you
Not
know
sure.
roughly which direction those people that might be amenable would be?
Oh, yeah. Everyone's working in the second level, third mine to the right.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for all of your help.
And thank you for the pelts. I know
Hopefully.
exactly what I'm going to do with these.
Ooh, what are you going to do with them?
Hats.
Perfect.
Those
So
capital people like to wear them to feel like they're rugged and outdoorsy, even though they've never seen a tree in their life.
Those capital people.
Makes me money, though.
That's true. Do they pay well?
They don't know the value of anything, so yes.
Perfect.
They've got more gold than sense.
Well,
anything for fashion. I wasn't there. Sorry, that was just a sideways comment. So when Morgana gets back to the party, I suggest, so after we're done acquiring these tents, do we want to go start taking a look for the goblins?
Yep, might as well.
is there 2 gold each?
3? You said 3,
gold each?
right?
3 gold each for a 2-person tent.
Is there a 1-person tent?
There is not.
So it'd probably be better to get 3.
2? I mean, okay. Would Marvin and I fit in a 2-person tent,
Yes.
or would and it wouldn't be all that uncomfortable?
I mean, it's a canvas tent, so it's not going to be super great, but you're not going to be cramped or anything.
Okay, yeah. We're not going to be like sleeping on top of
Not
each
gonna
other.
be like, yeah,
No,
like
that's fine.
elbowed in the rib.
Then we get 2 tents.
Yeah,
Yep. All right.
I can take mine off of here.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll just minus ours.
Okay.
Okay.
And are you going to try to find buyers for your armor, or are you just going to wait till later for that?
No, I would like to go to this level of.
So, I mean, I think the best place to come into contact with the miners is not while they're actively working, but maybe, at the inn at night. Especially after they've had a couple drinks, it might be more interested in buying, armor.
Do we know that they're going to the end? Because I did ask, technically, Bridget the best place to find them. So unless Bridget spoke.
There was a fair number who came in to the inn afterwards last night.
Okay, well, you said
told
there
you
was-
where they were
so I
working.
wanted.
If you wanted to
Okay,
go
I
talk to them
definitely
now,
would.
or you wanted to
get
catch
that.
them as they're leaving the mine they're working on, which would also be a decent time to do it, you can just wait
We
by
can
that
talk
mine.
to them whenever Hal wants.
Okay. So are you waiting to that evening, or are you going out goblin hunting?
I think we should go goblin hunting. We kind of can't do that in the dark, and we can hawk leather armor to miners.
What
in
time
the
is
dark.
it currently?
It's mid-morning.
Okay.
You did this all pretty much right after you woke up and got breakfast, was the way I interpreted what you said.
Yep.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, I feel like that's where we're going to end it today. Since we're at a
all right.
nice natural breaking point before you go hunt
Yes,
some
we are.
gerblins.
Fight.
Okay, well, thanks for watching, everyone.
All right.
This has been session
Yeah.
number 4. Maybe they'll
Oh,
do
not
things.
yet.
Maybe they'll fight things tomorrow. Yeah, but they're
Yeah.
still not the best at noticing things. Not the best. Not their strong suit.
Sometimes we find things really well, and other times we don't.
That seems to be the story of this campaign.
Nothing.
The dice are trying to kill us.